Okay, so now let's apply that to the building. We're going to go into Hypershade and drag that new texture in and see how good it looks. And that's on my desktop under this building color map. And I can drag it right here. Eventually we're going to get rid of all the colored ones. But for right now, let's make a Lambert. And we're going to call this Building 1. Let's get rid of all this other stuff. And load Maya back up. I guess I have to unbury Maya. Students always make fun of me because I have a million Finder windows open. I just multitask differently, that's all. Okay, so there we go. Good. So this Lambert 21, I'm going to rename it and call it Building 1. Okay. Middle mouse button, click and drag this one over to color. And if we wanted a real-time preview of this, we can just double click on the texture and double click over here. It won't give you a real-time render or a real-time display until you do that because it's a 2048 map. Anytime a 2048 map comes into play, it has to be thumbnailed. And there we go. Not too shabby. Brick's a little big, not too bad though. We can measure the scale of the brick correlating to the door. Okay, so we got the door, it's got a brick going across here. Nice. Now, I wouldn't worry about things that get stretched too bad. Like right here, for instance, this area looks a little stretched. This area looks a little stretched. Okay? Don't worry about those things because what happens is we shadow those areas. And the reason they become stretched is, well, you learned that in lesson 1, where we have areas that have just a little bit of a displacement value on them, like this, for instance. Because this UV right here is overlapping, or not overlapping, but at an angle, you're going to get some distortion. Again, we can fix that later after we OCC it. Okay. Let's first concentrate on getting all the buildings bricked. And now we're not going to apply the same brick texture to every one of them because that is so boring and so cheap. Let me kind of show you this. You can get away with it because, look at, check this out, brick. Okay, look at, it almost matches up. I mean, perfectly. But I wouldn't do that because of the fact that it all looks the same and too much of the same. If I had a different kind of brick though, however, let's say I'll teach you what to do for that. Remember how I stained things with the color. Okay, just make sure that you stain things. Let's say I have a whole different kind of brick, different color altogether, but I want them to be unified across. Well, for the next one, I would probably do this. I would throw a layer on top, grab some of this color from the first brick. With the second brick open, I just throw that in as a foreground color. And then I set it to multiply. And then I can lower it down. This will set it within a new tint range. And the bricks will look nice next to each other. We don't want hot red Mario Brothers brick next to real brick downtown New York, okay? All your textures must look like this. If you do not have them look like this, you will be marked down. If you don't have the colors to be unified across, you will be marked down. I have to do this because students have a horrible, some texture people, when they first start out, they don't unify their texture color. It looks awful and cheap. Another thing is, I should be able to go right up against this building, just like this, and I should be able to see just like it is in real life. It looks like brick, it has grout, it has sharpness, it's good to go. But anytime you fall without in the means of getting really high-res textures, it looks awful and you'll be marked down. Alright, so just to get into a few things, so I did one building. Now it's your job to do the rest of them using my technique. Alright, enjoy, and when you are done, move on to the next video.